Hey everybody, it's Katherine Cole. I am back with another fragrance video for y'all. If you are a fan of Creed fragrances, then this is a video that I think you're going to want to stick around for. I am going to go over a bit of the news from the House of Creed, as well as dive into their latest and greatest fragrances that they've released. So if that sounds of interest to you, stick around. Firstly, if you are new to my channel or if you have visited a few times and have yet to hit the subscribe button, please make sure to do that. Also, if this video strikes a chord with you, please make sure to hit like, as it really helps me out with the YouTube algorithm. News to me in researching a fragrance that I have recently tried and am talking about in this video, Carmina. I found some information out about the House of Creed that I didn't know previously, so I wanted to share it with you all in case you didn't know and are interested. Apparently, the owners of the House of Creed have changed. Creed was bought out by the world's biggest private asset management company named BlackRock under the rule of CEO Javier Ferran in 2020. Since then, they have released only one fragrance, which was Windflowers for Women. I did a review of that one as well, and will link it in the information section of this video in case you are interested in that. I personally really liked Windflowers, but there is this, and I mentioned it in this video too, but there is this note in a lot of Creed fragrances that just, I don't want to say it's a dusty note, but it's just, it seems to be, I don't know, a characteristic of a lot of Creed's fragrances where it just, as it dries down, I'm left with like just this hint of dust. And it's not, obviously I have a onslaught of Creed fragrances up there, so it's not displeasing per se. It's just, it's something I have noticed across a lot of Creed fragrances that I have tried. Carmina, or not Carmina, but Windflowers also having this note, or having this characteristic. So obviously, a company such as BlackRock, the goal of which would be to drive the value of Creed up so that the asset becomes more lucrative. A big way to do that would be to drive sales. They want to, release a lot of new products, but particularly products that will sell well. The company was bought again on June 26, 2023 by Kering, a French luxury conglomerate that owns Gucci and Alexander McQueen, Bottega Veneta, Balenciaga. So, big names there. Money-wise, apparently the acquisition wasn't, the exact value wasn't released, but they estimate it was probably around 3.8 billion. According to Reuters, apparently Creed's revenue for 2022 was around 250 million. So, And if, not to get into microeconomics here, because honestly it wasn't my strong suit, but if in 2022 Creed's assets accounted to 250 million, then Kering is really need to make some changes in order to, up that ante. The first perfume release that occurred after acquisition by Kering was the re-release of Spring Flower. They modernized the bottle. They said it wasn't a reformulation, that it was just a re-release of the fragrance, but with a more modernized bottle. I'll show you the two here to compare. I actually never did my review on Spring Flower. I was hyper to order it because I didn't own it, and when they re-released it, it's in this cute baby pink bottle. I actually have it right here, Spring Flower. I was excited to get it. I actually have it all ready for my review here, the original tester I have, as well as the bottle. I can only afford the little guys. Anyway, personally, the fragrance was almost identical. I'm not going to say it wasn't. They say it wasn't reformulated, so I thought maybe it was all in my head. But that dusty note that I was telling you about, that was evident in the original Spring Flower, I did not pick up in this one. This is nothing but smooth spring flower goodness here. I like Spring Flower. It actually isn't one of my all-time favorite Creed fragrances, but the reason I really wanted to buy it was because it was the fragrance that was created for Audrey Hepburn's wedding. It was her bridal perfume, and I am a lover of classic glamour, classic Hollywood. Audrey Hepburn will always be one of those women that is just like the epitome of classic ladiness to me. So eloquence through and through, just nothing but elegance and grace. The reformulation of Spring Flower by Creed was the first change that Kering made with the Creed company. And now we're really getting into the good stuff. The next release that Kering has made with Creed is the release of Carmina. I did not think I was going to fall in love with Carmina. I was really interested in the cherry note, the dark cherry note that is present in Carmina, but I was a little turned off by the Rose de May. I am not a huge, I like rose, and if it's blended the right way in a fragrance, I will like it. It's just, everyone was saying, oh, it's such a sophisticated feminine fragrance. It's fragrance for a mature woman. And when I hear mature, I think of what I'd like to think of is much older than me. Rose is just one of those notes that the stereotype of being kind of an older woman's fragrance, grandma-ish note in a fragrance. And like I said, there are many rose notes in fragrances that I love and appreciate. So I'm not saying all, but sometimes a rose dominant note in a fragrance can make it smell more for the very mature of women. So I was a little bit about Carmina. Everybody was saying that, and it just kind of turned me off. However, the bottle, the color of the bottle, that's what made me fall in love with it. So Creed, obviously, they want to draw attention to the release of their fragrance. They do their press release. They do their oh, look what's coming type blips and ads, and they show the bottle. And the bottle is this gorgeous berry purple color, and I'll show you the bottle here. It also features the heavier metal caps, which give it a more luxurious look. It's not in the previous women's shaped bottle, if you guys have noticed that. So this is Summer in white, and the women's bottle is very curvy. It's got, the ridges. It's a little bit more ornate than the unisex or men's Creed fragrances. To me, the men's bottles or the unisex bottles look like flasks to me, which, kind of masculine. A man would have that on their shelf for fragrances, but I digress. Apparently, the reason that they did away with the more women fragrance bottle is that they wanted to standardize the brand and make all the bottles look uniform. Okay, so the name Carmina comes from the shade of the bottle, which is bright and deep carmine. So as I was saying, I was drawn to the shade of the bottle alone. But then then it started being released, and I heard the reviews that I was talking about before, and it just was kind of a turn off. And, I tried to dissuade myself from wanting to buy this, to me, expensive bottle of perfume that I can't justify spending that much money on. But man, I want to. Come to find out, the name of the perfume, Carmina, is named after the legendary and luxurious bright and deep shade of carmine. And apparently, and I'm going to quote, I'll put in references where I'm getting all this information because I don't want to plagiarize their work, but apparently this particular dye was obtained from a cochineal insect named Dactylopius coccus, which was apparently very rare and thus very expensive. Apparently also now derived from chemicals. But so now let's get into talking about Carmina itself. The fragrance that to me is maybe one of the, and y'all know how many fragrances I experience. I mean, I have a multitude of testers that I get, different size testers to have more experiences, days of wear, and then of course my bottles that I have been a little less reserved in purchasing lately. Carmina is one of the best fragrances that I have experienced, at least during 2023. I'm not saying it is the best, but it is definitely one of my top 5. I mean, there are a few that, really stand out from the fragrances I've experienced this year, but Carmina has quickly become top 5, at least. Carmina is considered a floral, woody musk fragrance for women. It was launched very recently, I believe in September of 2023. The top notes include the black cherry I spoke of, saffron, pink pepper. Middle notes are the Maida rose, peony, violet, and cashmere wood, the base of the fragrance, including musk, Ambraxan, which Creed is notorious for using, myrrh, and frankincense. Now, that being said, myrrh and frankincense in a fragrance, they're not my favorite. My mom loves frankincense. Personally, I don't know. It's just that oudiness to it that isn't one of my personal favorite notes in a fragrance. So again, another reason why I was like, not sure about this one. I'm so glad that I purchased a sample. I'll say that. Creed actually sent me a sample. They sent me a tester, which I was so thankful for, and I had forgot that they were sending me one, so then I bought another one from another company, Decant House, which I had a great experience with, by the way. I'll leave their link below too, which is not affiliate. They actually don't let you tag them. I'll leave them referenced below. So Carmina is available again in the standard 30 ml as well as 75 ml fragrance bottles. The interesting thing about that beautiful Carmina shade of bottle is that that's not going to be the standard. That was just for the release of the fragrance, and then it's going to go back to the unified look that Creed is going for lately. It apparently will be replaced by the classic Creed white shade of bottle. So I'm really hoping I can come into some money to buy it before it becomes that, because like I said, I just want that purple bottle. Anyway, point being, if you are also in love with the shade of the bottle and that is a selling factor for you, make sure to jump on it now before they do transition over into apparently the white bottle. So my take on Carmina, the fragrance. The rose is a dominant note within the fragrance. But as I said, the way it's blended with that black cherry, so many beautiful, beautiful cherry fragrances but this is not like any of them. To be honest, the exact blend of this fragrance, it is a perfect blend between three of my all-time favorite fragrances, which is probably why I love it so much. But if you were to take Delina Exclusive, blend it with Initio Side Effect, and then the dry down becomes Carolina Herrera Good Girl Glam. Enough said. Mic drop. All I'm going to say. So it starts off that the heavy cherry, so you have that fruity nature, but then with the rose, I think that's where you get more the Delina Exclusive. But then you blend in that frankincense, the myrrh, the woodiness, the Ambraxan, and then you get more of the Side Effect blended together. And then in the dry down, it's more like cherry blossom type cherry, where it's Good Girl Glam. What I love about it is it's like a luxurious jelly bean scent. Like, I feel like I smell like candy when I wear it, but a feminine, luxurious candy. And that's the dry down of Carmina. I mean, I was just blown away by the fragrance. And if you haven't experienced the fragrances that I'm using to depict this fragrance, I guess that's not going to help you. But bottom line, it's a musky cherry rose fragrance with a fruity, musky dry down. Unfortunately, the longevity is not as much as I would like. I mean, I'm totally showering in the fragrance all over my clothes, my hair, which does extend it a bit longer than it would be if I just applied it to my skin. I'm not going to say it was a short-lived life. It didn't quickly become a skin scent. It's just, I guess, as much as I was loving it, I wanted it to extend and last a bit longer than it did. That being said, I probably did get 4 to 5 hours of wear out of it. It does have a moderate to strong sillage, probably more of just the moderate though. I've gotten compliments wearing it. Not that I need compliments with my fragrances, but I'm just saying that's important to some of you guys. You always are asking if I got compliments with use, and that is one where I have gotten compliments when I've worn it. It is expensive. The 1 ounce is $300, the 2.5 ounce $445. I guess it all depends on your price point, what you're willing to spend on fragrances. For me, I mean, I just had a birthday. I really want to rationalize buying it, but at that price point, I'm hoping Neiman Marcus has their, spend $200, get $50 off sale soon, and maybe I could justify that. So maybe. Someone mentioned to me that they wished that the bottle had been in the feminine shaped bottle just because it's a women's fragrance, and to them the women's fragrance should stand simpatico with the other women's fragrances, and I would agree. However, that isn't Carmina. Carmina is, if I'm going to describe what type of person wears Carmina, Carmina is a modern woman. She is bold. She's not a wallflower. She's not Woo, 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 look at me. I'm, perfume is narcissistic. Everybody's got to look at me. But she knows what she wants and she gets it. She does what she needs to do to get what she wants in a professional and respectable and eloquent way. The silhouette that Spring Flower per se would have is very different to the silhouette that Carmina has. Carmina is a bold Academy Award gown, where Spring Flower is a sundress at brunch. And not saying there's anything wrong with either of those, but those are the, Carmina is also a woman that wears pinstriped pencil skirts and suit jackets to work with her hair pinned back in a bun. She's then throws it out and lets her hair down and goes for cocktails for happy hour. I mean, she's bold and daring, and she is well suited to be in the men's shaped bottle, especially with that bold and daring color of carmine. This has gotten long and wordy as per usual with my videos sometimes. But I hoped if you were interested in Carmina that this video helps you out, that you got a little bit of history of or I guess not history, but you got a little bit of current news on the House of Creed, and that you enjoyed this video. If you do, again, please make sure to hit like, share it, really helps me out. To end this, I will use a quote from Coco Chanel, who just seems so befitting to Carmina fragrance. Ironically, since Chanel has her own fragrances, but whatever. It seems like this would be a fragrance that Coco Chanel would wear, and there are so many quotes that would be so befitting for this video. So as per usual, I can't decide, so I'm going to leave you with two. One is something I need to remember myself, and that is nature gives you the face you have at 20. It's up to you to merit the face you have at 50. She has just said so many wonderful things. I just want to read this off like a novel. I have a list of Coco Chanel quotes here that I'm going through, and it's just like, bam, that woman. And then this one. How many cares one loses when one decides not to be something, but to be someone. Okay, one more. A woman who doesn't wear perfume has no future. Come on now, it fits. I love you all. I appreciate you all, and I'll see you soon. God willing. Love you all. Which are more in a, to me, they remind me of, what are they called? Flanks? Flaken? I always get flanker and flake, like the flask.